mad titan arrives. He's heading towards those ruins.
Looks like the Nova Corps failed. It's up to us to take him down.
Just the 5 of us.
And that gun.
Alright, hey everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to the channel. We have another game review for everyone today. And before we get into it, all the footage was recorded on a PS4 Pro, and there will be spoilers ahead. And today's game is for the Telltale series Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, let's jump into it.
Yeah, I don't know they have games.
Yeah, so I think that was part of the reason why we started playing this game, was because I wanted to find another narrative kind of game for Yajing. If you've been watching our reviews on the channel, you might know that Yajing likes the Quantic Dream games, Beyond Two Souls and Detroit. So my mind kind of went to these Telltale games and something that she would know. So Guardians of the Galaxy is a film that she's watched before, and she had never played the Telltale series, which if you've never played a Telltale series game, there are these interactive kind of stories where you can kind of choose the outcome. Not exactly a Quantic Dream game. I like to refer to Telltale games as kind of Quantic Dream light games. Not as big budget, the graphics aren't going to be as flashy, but they're these kind of interactive point-and-click stories.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. And looks like you get to control a little bit of everybody, all the characters.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will say that, you know, I had beaten this game before and platinumed it, but I ran into some game-breaking bugs while I was playing before. I had to restart chapters before. I eventually got around to platinuming the game, and there's 5 chapters in the game. So Yajing and I, we started out on chapter 1, and I enjoyed it. You know, it was definitely a lot of fun. The characters in the game I thought were pretty well rounded in chapter 1.
Yeah, it's pretty fit. There are characters pretty fit in the comic books, right? And I like the conversations they have.
Yeah.
Pretty marvels, you know.
Yeah. Very funny. There's a lot of humor in the game. And it's kind of sentimental and heartfelt. There's these moments where you're back on Earth with Star-Lord's mother who's sick, and she's kind of, just reassuring him that everything will be okay. Raccoon in this game, he has really this kind of heartfelt story. I believe it was chapter 2 with this otter.
He was in the cage. Yeah, he was trying to escape with his animal friend.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it has a lot going for it in the story department. You know, I was definitely very invested in it. Yajing was very invested in it. And we were playing it. You know, the footage you're seeing right now is Yajing playing the game, actually. And then we got to chapter 3, which was also starting out pretty fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think this is a moment, too, where I just want to talk about the sound design. I enjoyed the sound design in the game.
Yeah, every episode they have different sounds.
And it definitely gets you kind of invested. There's definitely a lot of great licensed music in the game. We can't share it right now due to copyright, but there's definitely a lot of really great songs in the game.
Yeah, and every episode they have their main song, and it makes me feel like every episode I'm watching it.
Yeah. And I think they nail that in this game. You know, they really make you feel like you're playing this interactive comic book from Marvel, which is what I think they were aiming for. And I think, to their credit, Telltale did a great job with that end of the game. And what do you think about the gameplay?
It's fun. It's like the control is okay. Yeah, I did miss some buttons when I need to press.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
It's really test my reaction.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, I think this game's different than some of the other Telltale games because you can actually fly around in some of the environments.
Yeah, like the Star-Lord
Mhm.
as the device can fly.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed that about the game as well. And it definitely seemed like an ambitious game for Telltale to really take on this Marvel property. But I thought they were doing a great job as we played. With that said, though, let's talk about the graphics real fast. What'd you think of the graphics in the game?
Pretty standard,
Mhm.
pretty comic book.
Yeah.
Like, like a cartoon movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But for PS4, I think they did what they can.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think they nailed the comic book aesthetic. It's definitely not a realistic looking game. You're watching it right now. It definitely has a comic book vibe to it, and it looks like a Telltale game. I think all Telltale games kind of have this comic book kind of aesthetic to them. So for that too, I think they absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, and the story is kind of not very complicated so far, and but I like when he, especially for the Star-Lord, the flashback
Oh yeah.
to like before his mom passed away. Yeah, and so you know a little bit more his life, earlier his life, and why he wants to keep looking for the son, because it's his mom's voice to very attract him to go forward.
Right.
Keep the story keep going.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You know, I think there was so much going for this game, but this is, I think, one of those games where we just have to throw a massive but in. You know, there is a big kind of what happened, and you might have heard Yajing say, you know, so far when she was talking about the story, and let's just spill the beans on what really was disappointing about this game.
Keep stalking.
Yeah, it massive game-breaking glitches in this game. I mentioned at the beginning of the review that the first time I played it, I had to restart it multiple times just to get through the game and get the platinum trophy, which isn't hard, by the way. You just have to beat the game. But it actually is hard with this one. The first thing we did when we installed the game was we updated it to the most recent version. And unfortunately, once we hit chapter 3, I want to say about halfway through chapter 3, we couldn't progress.
No, doesn't matter what we tried. We made different decisions. We exit and come back. We tried everything we could, but we just keep stucking at that point. Yeah, no matter which conversation tree we decided on, we tried, you know, everything. The game just kept glitching to the point where nobody would actually say anything. There were no rooms to go to. There was nothing to actually do. It was a glitch. And then eventually we just said, okay, well, let's just go to chapter 4, delete all of our progress from chapter 1 to 3. All of the decisions Yajing had made up to that point were erased just so she could go to chapter 4. And we let the game decide all of those decisions, which already made it no longer her playthrough of the game. It took her out of the experience. The characters had made different decisions than what she had seen. But we tried to continue playing with chapter 4, and then what happened? We couldn't.
Yeah. Again, in chapter 4, there was a massive game-breaking bug where if we needed to cross this kind of chasm, and I don't even think we recorded this part of the game because we were just so kind of broken at that point.
Yeah. And
yeah, you couldn't cross it because you needed, and when I played the game before, this glitch wasn't present. you need to like let this tree fall down to cross this chasm, and as soon as you go to the tree, you are locked. You can't move, you can't do anything. And we tried to go and talk to other people before we went to the tree. Every single time it glitched and you couldn't move forward.
Yeah, and anyway, we are missing the story.
Yeah. So at that point, this was our first game that we had to put down, and not by our choice. Again, Yajing was enjoying the story. There were no game-breaking bugs until episode 3, and then overall, we had to lose all of our progress to just try and continue onto episode 4, and it completely glitched out on us again.
Yeah.
So, I have played through this game before. I know that it is an interesting game to play if you can somehow avoid the bugs, but for me it was really disappointing because this was Yajing's first Telltale game and it's plagued with issues. I had to restart my original playthrough multiple times because of game-breaking bugs, and I honestly just don't understand how they allowed this game to go to market with so many really game-breaking bugs in it.
Yeah. This part is pretty disappointed.
Yeah. So with that said, let's go ahead and give this game a review score. What would you say out of 5 stars for a Telltale series, Guardians of the Galaxy?
Because of the glitch, I would say 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
Yes.
I think that's extremely generous. Again, I have beaten the game before, and because I ran into glitches before, and because of the fact that my wife didn't get to play through a game no matter how much she wanted to, due to really heavy and severe glitches, I'm gonna give this game a 1 out of 5. Because if you buy it, you'll be lucky to reach the end of it. For what we were able to play, I know she enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it, but there's nothing like playing a game that no matter what you do, you can't get to the end of it. Not because your skill isn't good enough, but because the game itself wasn't coded well enough for you to actually get to the end of it. And I think it's going to be a while before I introduce another Telltale series games to Yajing, because I know this left a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, it's bad.
So that is a 1.5 out of 5 star rating from us. And I'm so curious if anybody else out there ran into these kinds of bugs when they played through this game.
Yeah, please let us know how's your experience of this game, and have you ever got any glitch before when playing the game, or you are the lucky one, you never have it at all.
Do you think it's just a PlayStation 4 thing? We're playing on a PlayStation 4 Pro. I played through it on a PlayStation 4 Pro before and ran into glitches. I'm not sure if it came out on other platforms, but I'm really curious to know your thoughts and your experience, and also if you just share our sentiment that it was really good until it broke repeatedly over and over in different parts of the game.
Yes. We will see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and look forward to a new travel video at the end of the week. We have another good one for you, and can't wait to see you in the next video.
See ya.